Welcome to our video explaining the EU-Mercosur Free Trade Agreement. This landmark deal is a game-changer for global trade. The EU-Mercosur Agreement represents years of negotiation and aims to deepen economic ties between the European Union and the Mercosur bloc. On January 17, 2026, the European Union and Mercosur, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay signed a historic trade agreement in Asunción, Paraguay, ending 25 years of complex negotiations. The deal overcame disputes over environmental protections, agricultural access, and regulatory standards, and created a free trade zone of over 700 million people, representing roughly 25% of global GDP. Beyond its economic significance, the pact serves as a geopolitical response to rising protectionism, particularly Trump-era tariffs, signaling deeper cooperation between Europe and South America. The deal is seen as a major statement about the future of open and regulated global commerce. In 2026, President Trump's second administration pursued aggressive tariffs, including a 10% threat on imports from 8 European nations over a Greenland dispute, reflecting a broader push to favor U.S. producers. The EU-Mercosur agreement served as a strategic response, emphasizing rules-based market integration over punitive tariffs. EU leaders, including Ursula von der Leyen, framed the deal as a commitment to fair trade and cooperation, while Mercosur officials highlighted new opportunities to diversify exports. By advancing a market-opening agreement amidst global protectionism, the pact sent a clear message. Robust, predictable trade is possible without unilateral leverage, offering an ideological as well as economic counterpoint to U.S. trade practices. Historically reliant on the United States, Latin American trade is now pivoting toward diversified partnerships, as highlighted by the EU-Mercosur agreement. Brazil and Argentina are wary of overdependence on a single partner amid unpredictable U.S. trade policies, prompting greater engagement with the EU, China, and other Asia-Pacific markets. Growing trade with China, ongoing EU-India negotiations, and BRICS cooperation reflect a multipolar global trade landscape where emerging economies assert more independence. While the U.S. remains an important partner, the pact signals a willingness among Mercosur nations to pursue alternative alignments, potentially reshaping global trade away from U.S.-centric dominance. The EU-Mercosur agreement is a major trade liberalization deal, eliminating over 90% of tariffs and expanding market access for European and South American exporters. European businesses gain access to growing South American markets, while Mercosur producers tap into Europe's affluent consumers. Yet the pact balances liberalization with safeguard measures, like the 99,000-ton beef quota, protecting sensitive domestic sectors and easing political concerns. Unlike the U.S.'s 2026 tariff strategy, which relied on abrupt barriers, the EU-Mercosur approach emphasizes gradual, rule-based market opening, aligning more closely with classical free trade principles while accommodating domestic pressures. However, the deal is not without controversy, with concerns raised particularly around environmental impacts, especially deforestation in the Amazon. Despite its signing, the EU-Mercosur agreement faces hurdles before full implementation. Ratification requires approval from the European Parliament and all EU national legislatures, with strong opposition in countries like France due to environmental and agricultural concerns, amplified by farmer protests. These domestic debates could lead to amendments or temporary suspensions of key provisions. At the same time, the Trump administration's continued use of trade policy as leverage through tariffs, sanctions, and lobbying adds external pressure, potentially influencing EU domestic deliberations and complicating the pact's smooth adoption. The EU-Mercosur agreement is not a direct halt to Trump's 2026 tariff measures, but it offers a viable, rules-based alternative to unilateral trade actions. By fostering negotiated market access, shared standards, and predictable rules, the pact challenges the notion that tariffs must dominate global commerce. While it may not stop U.S. protectionism, the deal signals that the EU and Global South can chart independent trade paths, demonstrating that cooperative, predictable trade remains relevant and influential in shaping the global economy. Thank you for learning about this crucial trade agreement and its potential impact on the world stage.